Hey, what's crack-a-lackin' everybody? This is Like It's 1985, and today we are going to take a look at Transformers Robots in Disguise Warrior Class Sideswipe. And Sideswipe here is a very, very cool looking sports car. I do like my sports cars. You can see the roofline here is really, really chopped, if you will. So really kind of a very interesting look to the roofline. Here we can see the front end, some nice sculpting there. And looking at the rear, there is a lot of nice sculpting detail there, but obviously no paint. And looking at the undercarriage here, you can see that the robot mode head here is showing the face. There is no really other way I can see how to do that. The directions say to leave the the face showing in terms of when you're looking at the undercarriage of the car. So there is that. Doesn't bother me too much because when you look at the car, you're not going to see the head. The one issue that does affect the car mode is this panel here. Now this panel does flip up in the transformation for the chest mode of robot mode. It can be removed, but as it is right now, it causes the wheels to not really spin because it's causing friction there. And just, you can push the car along, well enough, but the wheels aren't really spinning as they should. So there is that. I mean, again, you can take it off, but if you want to leave it on like that, then you're going to have that issue. But, that's just the one major issue I found here in car mode. So, let's go ahead and move on to the transformation into robot mode. I will say that this toy may not be suitable for younger children, just due to the nature of how it transforms. There's a little bit of complexity to the legs and a little bit of delicate thin plastic here with the arms. And when I say thin plastic, I'm not saying it's necessarily cheap. It really isn't. It's more of just thin plastic. And this actually panel here is, even though it's painted, it's actually plastic, this thin kind of translucent plastic, as opposed to a solid plastic back here. So there's that issue to be aware of. You'll kind of see what I mean by that as I transform it. So a little bit more involved complexity-wise as well. So first thing I find easiest to do is go ahead and just take the back end and the front end and kind of untab it like that. And then what I like to do is go ahead, as part of the transformation, you can actually take these panels here and at the front end, and these will actually pop out due to the transformation. So you want to take these and pop them out like that. Like that. And for now, what I'm going to do is just get these out of the way. Kind of like that. Just get them out to the side. You can see those obviously are the arms for robot mode. You can flip this panel up here as well to get this out of the way as well. So there. Like that. So the legs are a bit complex. Once you kind of learn it, it's not as bad, but what you need to do with the leg is take this black section here. This is the foot. And you can see, when I pull it up, and as you're doing so, you can see this panel kind of moves by itself, and there's a little bit of a clearance issue. You want to get this past that plastic there, and there you got the one leg formed. So we'll do it over here again as well. Take this up here like this, and I'm kind of pulling on this black piece here, the foot, and just rotating it down, and it kind of catches a little bit here on that bit of plastic there, so then you have the legs. So there they are. Now, as for the top section of the vehicle here, or robot mode, sorry, you want to take this section back here. It actually tabs into that bit of plastic there. Get this down and out of the way for now, and back like that, just for now. So the arms, I should say the shoulders here, if you look behind this panel here, there are two peg holes. They correspond to the peg on either shoulder here. You can see right where my finger is touching the peg there on both sides. It pegs in. I wouldn't say it holds very well, but actually before you do that, before I forget, which I almost did, is you actually want to rotate the front fender here of the car mode around And let me see if we get a better shot of this. When I rotate it around like this, you can see the difference there. So again, coming over here, rotate this around, and again, this is a little bit of a tricky transformation, especially for a kid, a younger person. So now that we got all the panels rotated there, we can go ahead and just again peg and peg hole, and it does peg into place, but I wouldn't say it holds very well, and that's one of the issues I have with robot mode. I may be doing something wrong, but the peg and peg holes panels, the peg and peg holes do peg into place, but I wouldn't say they hold very well. So I kind of hold the chest here as I'm moving out the arms here. And this panel here is supposed to go all the way down as far as it goes, like that, and I believe it just sits on the back like that. Alright, so here is the robot mode of Sideswipe. Now, see, as you move the arms, it kind of comes loose here. You can see this is all a bit of a loose mess. Again, I don't think I'm missing anything. It's possible, because it, like I say, the pegs and peg holes line up, but they don't really stay in place very well. So, let us go over articulation. Head appears to be on a ball joint. You do have rotation here, as you can see, at the shoulders, and there is a ball joint at the elbow, but below the elbow there is no articulation. There is no waist articulation. The actual hips are, I guess they call them a universal joint, but you can basically, the legs can go out to the side like that, forward, back. There's a swivel here above the knee, and then you have a hinge at the knee, and then you do have a hinge at the, well, yeah, at the ankle there. Now, Sideswipe here does come with this sword. Now, the sword doesn't appear to be able to be stored in the car mode. I looked at the hilt here. There are some tabs there, or not, I mean slots rather. I couldn't figure out where they would go in the car mode. It's possible they do. Instructions don't really mention anything about it, so as far as car mode goes, I'm not aware of the way that there is to peg in the sword. As you can see here, you can hold the sword, no problems. As for storing the sword, in the actual cartoon, he stores it on his back, and this is probably not really official, but there's a little hole there, or a slot, and you actually can get the sword through here. Such that you can have it stored like that. So there's that option to keep the sword, you know, when it's not being used. It can be stored on the back. Again, I believe that's just not official. That's more something I just found out, that there's a means to store the sword when you're not having it held in the figure's hands. Let me bring in Bumblebee. And Drift. And then I'll bring in Optimus Prime. Okay, so let me go ahead and show you the transformation from robot into car mode. Well, thank you everyone for watching this review. This has been my review of the Transformers Robots in Disguise Warrior Class Sideswipe figure.